So those fields, EMFs, magnetic fields, they're really important. I dealt with them on a very large scale, higher voltage and higher power with some of these hospital environments. But what I recognized was in our homes, we need to be measured about that as well. So a couple of things to do is where your modem is. If you do have wireless, where your modem is, where your service comes in, that's a place of very high radiation field. So don't put that near the desktop that you're going to work on. You hardwired, but if you were a person that has a wireless system in your home, that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
And also getting Wi-Fi timers.
You got it.
We've got that in our house.
Yeah.
And my son's one of many interesting experiments I've put on them where they've looked at me like, what? So I explain why we're going to do something a certain way. And
Sure.
And they do humor me. So either I'm really managing to persuade them, or they just know that's better to humor your mom than, fight her.
Right.
But those are some things that if someone's a little bit nervous about it, take your wearable technology off. Of course, don't listen to your phone. Don't listen to your phone or have your conversations with your phone to your ear.
Well, look at all the breast cancer and the prostate cancer. Welcome, everyone, to the Hol Truth Podcast with Jon Levine, sponsored by Dean's Natural Food Market with 4 locations in Ocean, Shrewsbury, Chester, and Basking Ridge. Today, my guest is Clare Broderick. She's the owner of Greener, Cleaner Living. She's a licensed professional engineer who used to design energy-efficient hospitals and schools. Now she helps individuals and families live better with less toxic chemicals and energy and waste. Hey, Clare.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, what do you think? Pretty cool. We're here at Dean's Market
It's awesome.
in Ocean.
It's been fun already.
People are coming in, being healthy, getting vegetables. We're right in the fruit section, the produce section. I'm looking at kale and leeks and collard greens. I love it.
All good stuff.
It's giving me energy just looking at all the vegetables. So let me ask you this. You're the guru when it comes to greener, cleaner living. What are some of the easy changes that people can make in their homes to be healthier?
Oh, you know what? There's a couple of really easy ones, and I think if we slow down a minute and think about them and put them into practice, we accomplish so much. So one of my first favorite things is to begin to drink filtered tap water or water from another source in glass or stainless steel bottles. And that's one of the easiest things we can do, and it's a huge improvement to our health because of some of the things that come in unfiltered tap water or in plastic water bottles.
So I guess here the question is, what's wrong with the tap water? So if we didn't have filters and we just drank tap water, what's wrong with that?
So tap water, our municipal water system in our country is really actually very incredible. The fact that we can get potable, healthy water, generally speaking, is amazing.
Compared to
other places in the world, it's an amazing system. It's antiquated, though.
Still antiquated nonetheless?
It's antiquated, and there are many things that are reaching our water supplies that are unable to be filtered out by our municipal water systems, which were built and designed way before these things became prevalent in our water. So let's think heavy metals, volatile organic chemicals,
Fluoride?
Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
I think you just mentioned fluoride.
Fluoride.
Fluoride can be added to water systems.
Because don't they add fluoride?
Some water systems do, some don't. It's a case-by-case basis.
What's your take on fluoride, by the way?
So my take on fluoride is that it's not necessary for us for good, healthy teeth if you talk to your dentist and so forth. There are some camps that say it really does help with cavities. I think at a time and a place when fluoride was introduced into our water system, there was a different understanding and
Sure.
knowledge. But now it's taking time for that process to run its course and for different water systems
Yeah,
to
we
take
need to change it up. There's a lot of studies, by the way, on fluoride that show that it's a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
So,
That's a huge one. There's probably 8 really simple ones that I put together a list, and basically you could save about $1,500 a year if you do these 8 things, and it helps really green and clean your home and your home environment.
and you can save on medical bills by not being in the hospital and not being in the
Absolutely.
doctor's office.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to throw that in because, money is important. And a lot of times people say, well, how much is it? How much is it? Yes, organic food costs more money, and maybe it shouldn't. And I know McDonald's burgers are cheap. Yes, it's more money to use more expensive bottled water and stuff like that. But you will, in the long run, come out on top, hands down.
It's like any of those things, our human condition and human behavior and psychology and sociology.
Right.
There's so many issues that the long-term, the tortoise versus the hare wins the race.
Right.
It could be saving money. It could be weight loss. I think you're pointing out.
Are you calling me a tortoise?
Or a hare.
And
I don't know.
you're calling yourself a tortoise,
I'm calling
too.
myself a
All right,
tortoise.
a couple tortoises here trying to educate people on greener,
Yeah.
cleaner living.
Because people say I've had lots of friends and family as I converted my career path from full-time engineering and energy and sustainability services for clients all over the country
Sure.
to stay-at-home mom for a couple years while my kids have been in high school, which has been bar none the best decision I've ever made, to then deciding to take what I learned helping people thrive in these buildings where we do really wonderful things, educate, heal people, etc. And now doing this on my own. It's always difficult for people to make those changes when the reward is down the line. So if there's an immediate reward and a long-term reward, it makes this situation so much more fun and worth, staying in.
Immediate gratification.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So what kind of filters are we talking about?
So, I counsel people. It's one of the questions that I get a lot because everybody knows that we deserve clean water, healthy air, good nutritious food. And when we're actually thinking about tap water and seeing all these articles about PFA, perfluoro compounds in our water systems and so forth, we can get a little bit anxious. So one of the first things I talk through people is, do you have a well at home or do you have municipal water?
Okay.
And work through those different kind of flow charts, if you will. If you have a well, you really want to treat your water at home, not just to soften it, but also to filter it, because you're tapping right into aquifers that, move and travel below ground,
Right.
and you want to really protect yourself. If you have municipal water, and you can get the testing. It's legally required that all of our municipal water companies share that data. You
Okay.
can find out what things are at level, below level, or above level for New Jersey, for the federal levels, or California, and you can make decisions there. So you may be able to do a water pitcher, which is a great first way to people to help people get rid of volatile organic chemicals
Okay.
and lead. And they're not ready yet for a home house filter or
Right.
A service for good water.
So what is it? The charcoal filter? Is that what
Charcoal,
filters?
carbon filter, whether it's charcoal or another botanical-based charcoal carbon product, gets rid of many of the heavy metals, the VOCs, and some of the contaminants that we're finding making its way into our water.
Okay, so the charcoal is the actual filter.
Yes.
That's what's doing the job.
Right, and some of the ones you can get at Costco or BJ's do not have the ability to filter out lead, and some of these other things you need to be sure it's rated with an NSF rating for lead and heavy metals. And there's a few brands, and I guide people to different choices because you want to have one that works and it's doing its job, if that's your line of defense.
Well, that's good because that's a good entry point, right? So you don't have to go balls to the wall with like this heavy-duty system. Of course, if you want to get to that point, you can. But you're saying like a pitcher with a charcoal filter, just like we have a coffee maker at home. And if you have coffee maker has, at least ours come with like a little charcoal filter, right?
Yes.
So the same idea,
Yeah.
and it's not like that big of a deal.
Right.
Right.
And that's why water's such a great one, because you can filter your water, buy a water pitcher, maybe forego those cases of water at BJ's and Costco.
Yeah.
And the cost savings you're gonna, have and benefit by, as well as the health benefit, are pretty immediate.
So I guess to compare things, we're talking about your public water, your well water, municipal water, and then that's option one, and then filtering it with the charcoal filter. Now that versus bottled water, which one do you think is the way to go? I'm assuming it's the charcoal.
It's charcoal filter.
Okay.
And because part of what we've got going on here with our bottled water craze, which the convenience of plastic bottled water
Sure.
has been a ridiculous boon for many people for many years. But it comes at a cost, and there's a huge environmental cost, first and foremost, which we need to really address straight on.
Okay.
And that is, these bottles don't get recycled, all of them. China's been taking our recycling materials, and they're saying no now. So what are
Yeah.
we going to do with this? It doesn't go away. It takes hundreds and hundreds of years for that material to go away. That's just not a sustainable practice if there is one. Secondly,
I agree.
there's microplastics in those water sources.
And what are microplastics? Just tiny little
tiny
particles?
of plastic. So even just the process of bottling water in plastic, it's not a whole product. Like if you look at a glazed glass,
Right.
it's not disintegrating. That glass is pretty solid and chemically
So
sound.
that's a perfect segue into this. We talked about this. I'll move my marshmallow root and licorice root out of the way here. That was for another show. Marshmallow root is great. So that's a perfect. I am far from perfect. I make plenty of mistakes, but I have a good handle on a lot of these things. So what I do is we don't use a filter. That's not true. We do use a filter. We also do get water that goes right into glass.
Yes.
I won't say the name of it because they're not paying me, but it goes right into the glass. So
John can share that with me. So if
Yeah.
anybody wants to know where he gets
Right.
his water, I'll send that. I'll message you.
my water, hopefully, it comes right from the spring, right from the ground into the. It's not treated. There's nothing put in. There's nothing taken out, and it goes right into the glass. When I'm on the run, what I do is I reuse, and it's easy for me because I keep reusing the same bottle. And I'll show you if you're watching on YouTube. Here's the bottle. It's a Kavita bottle, and I like kombucha and Kavita sparkling probiotic drinks, and I just reuse the bottle over and over and over and over again.
Glass.
It's glass.
It could be plastic on the video, but it's
There
glass.
you go. You're right, and it's glass. So that's just what I do. I'm not saying to do it, but my water goes into the glass, and then from that glass, if I'm on the run, I have these water bottles all over the place. Glass water bottles. When I play basketball, if I go pick up basketball, I have my glass bottle.
Sustainable, and that's low impact. I mean, the word sustainability, people kind of, what is it,
Yeah.
But it's really making choices that are the healthiest for you, healthiest for the environment, and use the least amount of resources. So anything that's going to be sustainable or to sustain something is
Right.
to be able to do it for a very, 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 very long time.
Right.
And that's a really great example of a sustainable practice.
Well, yeah, it's twofold. So it's like it's healthy water. So I'm
Yeah.
not getting any of the junk in my water. It's just real water. And also, I don't have to spend the time throwing out plastic all the time. I clean the water bottle out and I reuse it over and over again. I have a couple of them, and it's actually saves me time.
It's great.
Yeah. So it's just what I do. Hopefully people can take that. It's one option. And then the other one is the charcoal filter and the pitcher, which is great.
Yeah. There's about, depending on where people are in their curiosity or their sustainable journey, I meet them there because that's the trick. Nobody's perfect on this. We're
Yeah.
all kind of making a set of
I
progressive
thought you were
steps.
perfect.
I
You're pretty close to perfect. You know what you're doing.
It's all about being good, not perfect,
Yeah,
right?
no
so
one's
that it's a
perfect.
beneficial, sustainable thing. But you're very sweet to say, and I'm blushing. But it's, there could be 8 things that we could do if someone says, I really want to be less of an impact on the earth.
Right.
I've got 8 super easy things that you can do if that's your goal. If someone says, I am scared to death about what I'm putting in my mouth or my children's mouth or on their skin,
Right.
then I can start them with a couple of things that make a lot of sense there. So if someone's concerned about global warming or carbon,
Okay.
I can help them with 5 or 6 really easy things that they can do for their own benefit, which then helps the benefit of their community, and then ultimately will help the bigger sphere that is the world.
Sure.
We don't have to try to do it at that level. It's these little steps that start adding up and making the
Right.
difference.
So don't push, meet people where they are.
Meet people where they are, because
Yeah.
that's where they are.
That's where they are, yeah.
That's where they are. And
Right.
so I've met so
there
many.
there you are.
There you are.
There you are.
And you've.
How are you? There you
very
are.
good.
Good
you
to see
and,
you.
You and your family are doing so many incredible
We try.
things.
We try.
Because somewhere along the line you said, this makes sense. So that's the other thing about my business, is trying to help people click with, this makes sense. This is not living on a mountain in a monastery or in a
Right.
cave. That's not greener, cleaner living. That's living right here in our world, just
Right.
a little bit differently and to our better health and benefit.
Let's talk a little bit. I really want to talk about this. Let's talk about, this concerns me because I think this is going to be a humongous problem. Wi-Fi and radiation, EMFs. In our house, again, there's plenty of things that we need to change, and we're far from perfect again, but we've gone back to hard wires.
Yeah.
And we've gone away from Wi-Fi. And when we need the Wi-Fi, we turn it on. But, again, there's pros and cons. So in my office, my computer stays put. I don't travel around with it. Well, in my home, I don't travel around with it. It's hardwired,
Yeah.
and it's on my desk. So the negative is I'm not moving all around. I'm in one spot. The positive, and in my mind, it's a huge positive, is I'm not emitting radiation constantly. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I think it's just another one of those things in this very technological, advanced world in which we live right now. 2019, there is stuff
yep.
going like gangbusters in terms of technological advancements. And I've told my children who are,
Is it 2019 already?
I think it is, yeah.
Oh, man, it's going
I
so
said it
fast.
right.
I didn't
didn't
even
say-
know. I'm like, oh, man.
I
that's
didn't
right.
say 18.
That's
I've been
right.
writing it on my dating it.
Yeah.
But, there's so many things. And what is happening in our world these days is these technologies and these advancements get pushed out into our world without the amount of testing that seems to be a more, measured approach. Because we're in a kind of global capital market.
It's the F word. It's not the F word that. It's not the F word. It's the F word that is. It's FAST. It's fast.
Fast, right.
Fast track.
Yes.
We need to get something fast. We
Yeah.
need to get something fast. We
Yeah.
need to get something fast. You can make mistakes if you go too
Yeah.
fast.
So you're right. So I'm a measured person. We talked about this. I am definitely a tortoise. And I'm an engineer. And I've always been at the intersection. What I'm curious about, what makes me kind of go, is the intersection of health and wellness, human living, with our environment and the systems that are in it. So that's everything I've taken in classwork. That's every career choice I've made. And what you find as a consulting engineer, I needed to have that backup information before I suggested anything for my clients to invest in. It could be a $3 million chiller system. It could be an electronic system. It could be where they put their main power in their building relative to where their hospital patients are. So those fields, EMFs, magnetic fields, they're really important. I dealt with them on a very large scale, higher voltage and higher power with some of these hospital environments. But what I recognized was in our homes, we need to be measured about that as well. So a couple of things to do is where your modem is. If you do have wireless, where your modem is, where your service comes in, that's a place of very high radiation field. So don't put that near the desktop that you're going to work on. You hardwired, but if you were a person that has a wireless system in your home, that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
And also getting Wi-Fi timers.
You got it.
We've got that in our house.
Yeah.
And my son's one of many interesting experiments I've put on them where they've looked at me like, what? So I explain why we're going to do something a certain way. And
Sure.
And they do humor me. So either I'm really managing to persuade them, or they just know that it's better to humor your mom than, fight her.
Right.
But those are some things that if someone's a little bit nervous about it, take your wearable technology off. Of course, don't listen to your phone. Don't listen to your phone or have your conversations with your phone to your ear.
Well, look at all the breast cancer and the prostate cancer.
And brain cancer
and brain cancer, but like women sometimes have it in their breast pocket.
Yes.
And men have it
in their, I know.
Yeah,
so we just need to treat these technologies with respect.
Right.
And with some deference.
Don't abuse it.
And some concern.
Right.
And you can go to many different levels depending on where you are at, but I really do believe keeping some of those sources of EMFs away from you and your children is what we need to do.
Well, we're not saying, we need technology, and technology is great when used appropriately. But to your point, I love the timer, because the timer, like let's say you have Wi-Fi. Well, at night, turn it off.
Yeah.
Because if everyone's sleeping in the house, you don't need it. So why not? And it's so easy. You just get one of those little timers, you plug it in, and it just, I don't know, you could set it for, let's say, 11 o'clock. You're done. 11 o'clock, it turns off. Then turn it back on at 6:30, whenever you want.
It's simple.
But it's so simple.
It's a great, those are those first steps. If someone wants to go to the sixth step, that's great, but start with those easy ones.
And there's no reason to have Wi-Fi and radiation while you're sleeping, because no one's using it.
Right.
So I love that one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
So what do your customers and clients, what else do they want?
So a lot of people are open and want to know what this all is all about. And some people start with, I don't really know. And one of the things that I'm doing is tying these different things together. The air we breathe, the water that we use in our home, the foods, the products that we put on ourselves, the products that we use around our home, and then what we do outside in our yard.
What do you think of my beauty products?
You're looking beautiful. Your skin looks lovely. Very nice. It's got a good glow.
It's called coconut oil. It's all I use.
Coconut oil is a great.
It's all I use.
Fractionated coconut oil, or
it's not fractionated.
Yeah.
It's literally
coconut
just
oil.
Coconut oil. I keep things so simple. I just like the less ingredients, the more for me.
Yeah.
I don't like ingredients. I just like coconut oil.
Yeah.
And I just.
Well,
what do you think?
I
don't know.
I've been a fan of fractionated.
I need all the help
oil.
I can get.
But
I need beauty.
One of the things with coconut oil is to be sure that it's still fresh and not rancid. So a woman at one of my lectures said this to me later, and it's the most fun bringing people together because everyone's doing something on the subject of sustainable living.
Yeah.
But they don't even connect it until we get together, and then it gets kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And a woman said, I use coconut oil, but I realized it had gone rancid because my cat, wouldn't go near it.
Ooh.
And I said, oh, really? So the coconut oil I've been putting on my face might be rancid?
Does it smell bad when it goes rancid?
I don't know. I
hope I'm not using rancid. Do I smell bad? Does my face smell like rancid coconut oil?
You're just lovely. So it's fun. You know what? Here's another point. This can be fun.
Maybe her cat went to the bathroom in the coconut oil.
Maybe. And I don't have cats, so
that's what the cat did. The cat went to the bathroom in the coconut oil, and then she's like, this is not good anymore.
And that's it. So,
and that's over.
Try stuff. That's, a couple of rules. I have a couple of easy rules on my website for people who are interested in this. Start small. Start where you're at.
I agree.
Set a few goals. Be curious. Maybe you do want to see how you can use less energy or you want solar. So whatever is driving you, but those are the areas really, is energy and water, air quality, our food and our nutritional resources, and not which ones we choose, because nutritionists and those types of people do that great expertise.
Sure.
Where I come from is our food being farmed in a healthy way? Are there additives, preservatives? Is it genetically modified?
I'm looking for one of the goodies I brought.
Pesticides. That's where greener, cleaner living really intersects with food, and
Right.
how we store and use our food. Plastics versus stainless steel versus cast iron. The way we cook and store our food is so important. You could have a beautiful organic salad
Right.
that you bought here at Dean's,
Yep.
and bring it home and stick it in a container, a plastic Tupperware,
Sure.
or a soup, make a beautiful soup and put it in plastic and then microwave it. Now you've added things that
Yeah.
we need to avoid.
The microwave, those have got to go bye-bye.
They
That
do.
I can't. I gotta put my foot down. I'm always willing to say, meet people where they're at. All right, people, get rid of your mic. Get rid
I
of the
hear
microwave. That's a no. You got to get rid of it. It's bad. It's bad news. You're radiating your food. You can't do it.
Right, and there's
And I am saying you can't do it. It's
there's a
terrible.
lot of
It's not good.
ways. There's a lot of ways that microwave has made things convenient.
You realize, though, by the way, that since I just got pushy and I just started telling people what to do, they're going to be like probably buying more microwave. Anytime you get pushy and start telling people what to do, they start doing more of it. I take that back. If you want to use a microwave, I'll meet you where you are. Use a microwave.
Limited use.
Limit the use. I
Limited
don't want
use.
people to get mad and be like, hey, telling me not to use a microwave. I'll use my microwave.
Well, there's things like this. Like my one son loves popcorn.
Yeah.
And back in the day when they were little, and I'm navigating things and trying to do healthier things, but not realizing all the data and information and these independent studies that have come forth since then till now
Yeah.
are amazing. So even 15 years ago, we weren't privileged to have all this independent
Sure.
info.
Sure.
But, over the years, go back to the organic corn kernels with some organic oil on
Yep.
the pot, on the stove, and it's the best popcorn ever. So I'm not taking the popcorn away from a family or from my kids. We're just not doing it in ways that are adding a lot of preservatives, chemicals, and things that could harm them later on. I'd like them to become fully healthy adults that have lovely, healthy children who bring more to this world in a generation or two. So.
No, I like your passion, and I'm paying attention to you. Don't think that I'm not when I'm
Oh, I
looking
know
down at
you
my
are.
phone. Just because we're having, when
Kids.
you have 3 kids, I know my daughter's coming off the bus in about 45 minutes, so I'm looking at my phone. But I'm paying attention. I'm being
I know
mindful.
you are.
I'm being mindful of everything that you're saying, and I was excited to have you on today. So I pulled some things out of my house that I thought would be kind of cool. This is one thing
Can't
that
wait.
my wife she knows way more than I do.
She's awesome
She-
and informed.
She's very informed. I always say, if you get a passionate mom will drive the house. I mean, dads are great too, but man, a passionate mom, if she gets behind something, the kids are on board and the dad's on board. And that's why this is like, I want everyone to hear what I'm saying and listen to my guests. They're great guests. But if you get a mom that's on board and she feels passionate that we stop using the microwave, well, guess what? That microwave is gone. I don't care what that guy says. Like, those kids, that's gone, right?
You're right.
I mean, the power that women have is just, it's unbelievable.
Well, you think as a girl, and then a young woman, and then as a married person, and then a mom, you're at this point where you've got this wonderful, you've created with your husband and your spouse or your partner or by yourself, this beautiful family with these children.
Yeah.
And you can get pretty adamant about their care. And once you're informed with things, this is a whole lifetime of decisions that come up to the point where you're raising your children. So you're right.
Yeah, I agree.
Passionate moms have the fire in
They
their
do.
bellies.
Oh, they do.
They
I
do.
do. I'm going after those moms. I mean, they instinctively they know what to do. And sometimes in this day and age, when there's so much information and misinformation, I just feel like we need to just get some clarity and clean things up and say, okay, hey, let's just get back to basics, and this is what we need to do, and get things moving forward. But so I took something out of my home, and this is what it is. It is a probably not pronouncing it, Stetzerizer. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Stetzerizer.
I know you know what this is, Stetzerizer. Can you talk a little bit about a Stetzerizer? Well, this is just the brand. There's probably different brands.
Well, tell me what it is, because I'm not sure what No, what is it?
This is a filter for dirty electricity.
Oh, yes, we've talked about this.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe the Stetzerizer is just the brand. I'm sure there's probably different brands.
Well, there may be, but it's like Xerox versus
Right. It's like
copy
a
machine.
Band-Aid and a bandage. This is, you plug it into your outlets, and this is so easy. Because you just buy it and you plug it in, you do nothing. And it filters out, I don't know how it's done, but it filters out dirty electricity.
Yes.
Do you know about that stuff?
Yes. So
Okay.
again, back to my professional engineering career, one of the things that we did for hospitals was clean up their incoming energy source, because
Okay.
our transmission is not perfect, and there's a lot of dirty frequencies. So the sine wave.
What does that mean? Like, what is dirty electricity? Like, in layman's terms, like, what is that?
So, voltage, power comes through our grid in 3 phases through the high voltage line. When we plug into our outlets, it's 120, 208, it's single voltage.
Okay.
But we're splitting it. So power comes in 3 phases, and these phases of electricity, as we transmit it from the source generator out across these wires all over the place.
Okay.
You can see that that's a imperfect process. Just think about the plugs and the cords in your own house and where they meet and where
Okay.
they're fused. You've got places where those waves can get out of sync and out of line and so forth.
So it's the actual energy waves that are creating havoc?
Yeah. So, one of the things that people that are trying to limit dirty electricity, because you've got different frequencies and wavelengths coming in,
Right.
you're exposed to them. It's just like a EMF. It's a shorter. Those are very, very short wavelengths.
It's a
Powers
whole
at
education
a whole different,
in itself.
Yeah.
That's a whole. I
Yeah.
opened up a whole can of
You
worms.
did.
there. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's too
But-
much.
But I think that your point is that there are ways that you can create a cleaner electrical environment in your home
Thank you for saving me on that.
with some tools and resources that are really becoming more prevalent. And again, many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, not many people were talking about the need for this, because we've really become
Right.
an electric society, if you will.
Let me also just say this. We all have to live in a home. We all have to have computers. We all have to have phones. Most of us. So, but there is some very easy ways. I always go back to this. I'm a preacher of this. I shouldn't say preacher. It's called get out in nature.
Yes.
Guys, it's just called get out in nature. Like, I get it. You have to be using a computer, and you have to be on your phone for business, for keeping track of your kids. But if you could just tell yourself, it doesn't matter where you are.
No.
You can find air anywhere.
I think
You can go
it's
outside,
huge.
take your shoes off, step on the ground.
We move
Right?
from our homes to our cars, maybe to another form of transportation,
Yep.
commuting to our jobs. Most of us work indoors.
Yep.
We leave our job, we may go to a store back home,
Right.
and we don't get any fresh air. We don't get fresh air. We don't, actually touching the ground literally grounds us. This is why
It's enormous.
science and human physiology, living health
Yep.
and science has been so amazing to me, because, ancient societies understood this. You ground yourself in nature. Why do people love to take a walk on the beach? You're grounding yourself. Your feet are touching the earth. Or go in your grass in your yard in bare feet.
And this is not hard. Even if you live in the city, find a tree.
Yeah.
It sounds funny. Find a tree, touch a tree. Find a park, take your shoes off, Doesn't matter if it's cold. Put your feet on the ground.
This,
It works.
It does. And
It does.
The studies that have come out about really so many groups are doing more and more science related to this.
There's tons of it.
And, that's where artificial intelligence, data collection, digital world, all of this AI we can really take advantage of that to prove these things, which we've known all along, to people who have gotten away from it and said, why do we need to do that?
But it's also evidence-based science.
It is evidence-based.
So there's evidence-based science is if you just go try something and you feel better and it works for you, guess what?
Yeah.
That's a scientific experiment.
Yeah.
That's a science. It's not on 5 million people. But if you take your shoes off and you walk outside and you feel better and you get fresh air, guess what? It works.
It does.
That's science.
All right.
So, all right. Are you ready for a little test?
I am. I'm going to see how I do. I'm okay
We
with
got a
it.
little test.
Because I think you're a good test giver. You're a stumper.
I'm trying.
So let's
All right.
see.
You got a spelling test.
Oh, a spelling test.
You got a spelling test. And for each one that you have wrong, you have to do a push-up. Is that fair?
With my eye.
You can't do a push-up. That's right. You got an accent with your eye. A push-up next time I see you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes,
For
because
each
I'll
one
be
you get
doing
wrong, a
push-ups soon.
push-up next time
Okay.
next time we see each other.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
I'll promise.
All right. This is found in fragrances. This
Oh.
is in a lot of fragrances. This is the bad one. Phthalate.
Okay.
Phthalate.
Yes.
How do you spell phthalate?
PHTHALATE.
That's really good. Phthalate.
I did it.
That's great.
I have to write that a lot.
Yeah.
And
PHTH. That's a tough one. Phthal.
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 And saying
I'm
it,
spitting all over Ming's
phthalate.
mics. Phthalate.
I just
Yeah.
kind of go phthalate.
Phthalates. Be careful of the phthalates in fragrances. All right. You ready for this one? This is also called PERC. This is perchloroethylene.
Okay. I can do this.
You got this?
I got this.
This is found where? In carpet cleaners?
It's
A lot of cleaners.
cleaners. Speaking of cleaners, I'm going to give a plug for a local cleaner. Bright Star Cleaners in Tinton Falls
Okay.
is a wet laundering company. No perc, which is the chemical you just stated,
You're still going to spell it.
or other petroleum-based cleaning agents, which, our clothes sit on our skin. So
Yeah.
they've got a great service, and they're the only one in Monmouth County, as far as I know. Okay.
All right. Duly
so
noted.
say it again. I feel like I'm at the National Spelling Bee.
Perchloroethylene.
Okay.
Perchloroethylene.
Perchloroethylene. PERCHLOROETHYLENE.
That's pretty fantastic.
Woo! I'm an
That's
engineer.
That's pretty fantastic.
These are words
All
that
right.
I've had
This
to
is
deal
found
with.
in soaps and detergents.
Okay.
Triclosan. Triclosan.
Triclosan or
Triclosan?
triclosan. Say it again.
Triclosan.
Okay.
Triclosan.
TRICLOSAN.
The way you're going, you're not doing push-ups.
Triclosan or triclosan?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. That's a great. I say it all
Stay,
the time.
stay away from it. Just stay away from it. Whatever it is, stay away from
It used to be
it.
in Purell and so forth, but it's in antibacterial.
All right. 2-butoxyethanol. 2-butoxyethanol. 2-butoxyethanol.
2-butoxy. BUTOXY. What's the rest of the word?
Ethanol.
ETHANOL.
You're kicking some butt. All right, this is and I had those were the hard ones. Now I got chlorine, which
Chlorine.
which is obviously
Okay.
pretty easy.
And if I get this, I gotta think. See, I'm like a
Chlorine.
visual speller. I'm like seeing the word in my head. Okay, CHLORINE.
Yep, you got it. And how about all right? This one's enough. This one's a tough one. Quaternary
Oh,
ammonium compounds. These are
okay.
found in cleaners as well. Stay away from it. Go
Yes.
to baking soda and vinegar, which is we'll save that for the next bucket.
Absolutely.
Baking soda and vinegar, those are great. Those are
Plant-based cleaners.
baking
rock.
soda and vinegar are like that's gold. Those are awesome. But
Yeah.
that's we'll
Okay.
touch on that next bucket.
Ordinary.
Quaternary ammonium compounds.
Quartenary. What's the second word?
Ammonium.
Ammonium. AMMON. Ammonium. IUM. Compounds.
Yeah.
COMPOUNDS.
You owe me no push-ups.
I'm so excited.
You're the first person I've ever had that knocked it out of the park. You don't owe me.
Test taker.
but now you don't get any exercise.
Oh, I will get exercise, and I think that around you're quick. There's extra. You gotta run.
That was very impressive. I'm
Wow.
impressed. So next time, let's get you back on and talk a little bit about vinegar and baking soda. We need to leave it a little bit of a hook, a little cliffhanger. But I want to say, look, thank you very much.
You're
I've gotten
welcome.
to know you pretty well on the phone and over the podcast. I love what you do, your passion and your energy.
Yes.
Good energy.
Good energy.
Not dirty energy.
Absolutely.
And thank you for coming on.
Thank
so
you,
we'll catch
John.
up
This
soon.
has been awesome.
Yeah,
It's
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure, and you're doing great things.
All right. Thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.